to my knowledge, I think the budget 2022-23 is 6 million.
6 million? 6 million?
I stand by it.
Wow. What is the budget? 2022-2023 for lands, housing and development. Now you have the budget.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. For that, I was not able to.
You, I think that for training for you, your name reads Nancy, Cathy. Now we have 3 different people being interviewed. 3 different people. I don't know now when we will go for our report writing, we will see we have interviewed who.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Koech. Honorable Sharon.
Okay, Cathy, just to ask you a few questions. You understand that in the recent past, county projects have not been put into proper use after completion because of land ownership related issues. Can you outline how you will help the department sort out these challenges?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. For any institution to solve land problems, the first thing is to ensure that there is the land titles, the title deeds are there, so as to reduce the issues of land wrangles. To ensure also that there is in the land registries, the documents pertaining land are there and they are up to date. And for me, if approved by this honorable committee, I'll ensure that these documents are digitized. Everything should be digitized, even the titles. Instead of having the hard copy of it, we have it in the systems. You can access it even anywhere. Also, the process of acquiring land from one individual to another, sale agreements, allotment letters, they need to be followed. They need to be acquired procedurally. Those are some of the issues that I'll deal with.
I remember when you were answering your question, you said that one of the problems that are facing the urban development is the slum mushrooming. Now that you know that, which strategy will you in place so that to ensure that we don't have slums coming up, and how will you manage that?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair, first of all is to ensure reduce poverty levels of the people, because what brings about these slums is poverty. Another one is to ensure that children go to school, education, to make sure that people go to school. Another one is for government to incorporate these people into its plans. Because mostly governments have ignored these people, but they are very important stakeholders in our society. Ensure that even in the budgeting process, they are also considered. Again, is to sensitize the people on the importance of, or rather, importance of owning their own resources, because most of these people come to town, they just come, first of all, maybe to look for jobs, they end up remaining there, but also development of our rural areas into a bit good standards so that people can live there instead of migrating to towns. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Sharon. Honorable Purity.
Okay, If this committee approves your nomination as a chief officer in charge of lands, housing and urban development, and you want to communicate to your staff in that department about a policy direction, which direction will you address to certain issues, or what factors do you consider before choosing the to communicate with the staff?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair, the factors to consider before passing any message. First of all, there is the age factor. Before you decide, you settle on the channel of communication, consider the age factor in order to choose any channel. For example, you can decide to use WhatsApp or rather an email. Other people are not conversant with the digital or the internet and what have you. One of the factors is that. Another one is to consider the urgency of this message. How urgent do you want the message to reach the consumer? Again, is the emotional reactions of the people. There are channels of communication that when you try to use, somebody sees it as an attack to them. You also consider the proximity of the consumer of the message. That is the distance. If the person is within your reach, you can reach that person instead of using other means of communicating. Another one is how confidential is the message that you are going to pass. Is it a message that needs to reach only the consumer and not to be seen by other people? That's another factor. Again, you look at the urgency of the message. How urgent it needs to reach the consumer. I think that's it. Thank you.
Honorable Ernest, do you have?
Thank you, Nancy. Just check. You were interviewed for education. So you did not apply for this position. Yes or no?
I didn't.
You didn't. You were not interviewed for this position.
Yeah, I applied for Chief Officer Education. I was interviewed in education, but I was appointed in this housing and urban development.
There is someone who was interviewed for fiscal planning. What do you have to say for that?
Okay. On that, first of all, I need to see myself, not the other person. I was interviewed in education, but it's the discretion of the appointing authority, the Honorable Governor, so it's wise to appoint me in this position, because, and for me, I'm equal to the task. What I could have delivered in education, I'll still deliver in these dockets. For the other fella who did it in this docket, I believe he has somewhere. He was placed somewhere.
No, like we have career paths.
Yeah.
So someone who goes to train as a fiscal planner and knows exactly that I'm going to pursue this. So what do you have to say about career choice in lieu of this situation?
Okay. Career is actually relative, but in education, like in professional qualifications, it cuts across, because the skills you are taught or the skills you acquired can be applied across board.
So if you are a lawyer, you can be a doctor. Suppose I'm a lawyer, trained lawyer. I can also be a doctor.
there are critical
Okay,
sections.
thank you. So my last question, in a departmental meeting with staff of lands department, 1 week later you realize that, let's say now you have been approved, and you are in the with staff, and then 1 week later you realize that the issues raised in the meeting are not being implemented. You see, you've engaged them and you agreed. So can you what do you think? Let's say like you have a staff meeting, you engage them, you agree on some duties or some activities to be done, and then you realize that it has not been implemented as you agreed. As the chief officer, what next?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair, I think you communicated the message to the members and maybe agreed on what to be done, and you came and realized it was not done. Maybe your communication means was not clear. I think when I was delivering the message, it was not clear. So one is clarity in the delivery of a message, and you realize people have not gotten it clear. That's why they didn't do it. Again, there is also the reaction, the people's reaction on the message that you give them. A person can assume that he has gotten the message clearly, but come and realize later that he didn't get it clearly. That's when you realize he will not perform. We have these people who are already performed mind. You see person speaking, you think what he's going to say next is A, B, C, and D, but you realize it's not so. Again, maybe it's lack of motivation on the part of the staff. Maybe they're not motivated, or rather they are communicating something to show you that we didn't do this because of A, B, C, and D. Again, is another one is maybe, yeah, I think I'm exhausted.
Thank you.
Nancy, maybe just to follow up on what Ernest asked. Now that you are being appointed to lands, which you did not apply, you did not go for interview. Please tell us what would be your sincere thought, considering that this position requires that you be competitively recruited. And the question now would be, were you competitively recruited for the chief officer?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First of all, I believe I was competitive to be chosen in this, to be appointed in this position, because one, of my academic qualifications, and two, I did the interview, and I believe I did it well. The way I was answering the questions, I performed it well. So that's why I was appointed. Coming to this position that I was appointed in, and I did do the interview, I believe I'll do my best to give the people of Baringo County the best services that I would have given them in education. Because of my career, my work experience in the other government institutions, I am well conversant with the government procedures and protocols. The service to the wananchi, I have knowledge on it. So for this docket, I'll ensure I'll do my level best to deliver in this housing and urban development.
If you are then, this is on a light note, if you are then competitively recruited, I checked the results, and you are number 12. So there were 11 others who were ahead of you. So probably if that was to be competitively recruited, then you would have picked the first one. Never mind. Now I would ask you a question which relates the two departments. We have a department called urban development. We have a department called public works. Might you know the difference between the two? Where will be the extent of your work, and where will be the extent of your in public works?
Thank you. On urban developments and public works, I think urban development deals with development of urban areas in terms of structures, infrastructure in general, and public works, I think, starts from the development of infrastructure in terms of roads, electricity, and other things. Thank you.
Very well. I don't know if members have any other question.
My question to you guys is, we understand that there's application that is leveled against every nominee to this, the position that you are, the chief officer position. The petition was done by persons living with disability. And they're saying that they were not given an opportunity to be represented. So what do you have to say about that?
Thank you, member, through the chair. What I'll say about this, persons living with disability are under the umbrella of the marginalized group. So for me to be appointed as from the community of the minority, I think they are represented because we are in the same umbrella of the marginalized. My services will be given to each and everyone. For them, they are also represented. Their interests will be served as well.
Thank you.
Maybe, Chair, yes, we have, as you put it, there is an umbrella, but each category is very specific. Because if we go with your definition, you know, every now and then people give their own definition. We will not really, because we have PWDs, we have minorities, we have special interest, and we have all these people. So we would really, I think you have to accept that minority is not PWD, though they fall under special that umbrella, but their needs and the way they should be treated are not the same. So my kind question now would be, once we agree on that, if today you are approached and told the memorandum of the BWDs has been accepted and we want to have a settlement, an agreement, if Nancy Cathy is approached and told to surrender this position to a PWD, would you accept?
I would.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Anaweza jibu kwa Kiswahili.
Oh, maybe, Nancy, was you see, when we say, would you accept? Maybe you say, I would not. Can you explain why not?
Thank you. I'm sorry for that. Through Honorable Chair, the question was so direct. That's why I think I just answered it unconsciously. But thank you, I understand it. For, as I said, of course they are not, PWDs are not the same as the other minorities. But for now, I'm aware that they are like, I'm just almost the same with them. They have some interests to be served. I'll ensure that, of course, they are also incorporated in the other policies to ensure that their interests are also
Like, for
served.
example, we would say you are going to run an office, and there are laws even saying the PWDs should be given maybe 30% contracts. Would you now commit that you will compensate they are missing as being to be CEOs? Maybe they can also benefit from. Will we be right to say Nancy will support PWDs in ensuring they get jobs in government?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Chair, of course I'll support. And in any endeavor that I'll do, now that I have in my the back of my mind that these people were not considered, I'll give the first priority to them in terms of maybe giving them contract, considering if there's any job position I can give, I'll give, but following the procedures that are there.
And even employment. Okay.
Thank you. We should be winding up.
Sorry, Chairman.
Yeah.
It's a quick one. Are you aware who is the CEC for Lands and the CS in that matter?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Through the chair, the CS for Lands is Honorable Mashara Njero. Honorable Mashara Njero, CS in the national government. For the CEC, also sorry that I got the name but I forgot.
I think it's almost treasonable.
You away. You mean you don't know your boss?
I'll make sure I know.
Then who is the county secretary?
County secretary is
Sorry, you also don't know that. Who is the speaker of the county assembly?
Current affairs.
Those are current affairs, very simple.
okay. My problem is remembering their names, but other things I can't remember. But for now, I have their names at the back of my mind, but they're not coming out.
But you know who is the chairman of the committee Lands?
I do.
Who is the chairman?
It's Honorable Sito.
Maybe INC.
Who is your MCA?
My MCA is Honorable Paul Ongiso.
Now, thank you for knowing your MCA. Now, because you know your MCA, I don't know whether you are aware that there is a petition against your appointment.
I'm not aware, Honorable Chair.
Okay. So the content of the petition against you is that you're not a resident of Jamus. Allow me to just read the petition that we have received. It is dated 10 May. It reads, I am expressing my concern on the chief officer given to El Chamus, Nancy Nelechurai. It is unfortunate that we are given a failure as a community because of unknown reasons. We had top performers, and it baffles me as a citizen of Magutani 1 to have someone who is never on the ground, and the main thing is someone who is never on ground, a CEO, someone who was never recommended by the Public Service Board, El Jamus Chief Officer, Performance, Culture and Social Services, there was one Willie Lesupen who scored 73.4% and was recommended. This petition was received in the Assembly on 26 May 2023. Now, because the main thing of that petition is that you are not living in El Jamus, please tell this committee where you live.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. That petition is just a walkover for me, because for somebody to purport that I'm not from the El Jamus community. I'm born in Mukutani, which is in El Jamus, both of my parents are El Jamus. I got married in Kiserian, Mukutani ward. My spouse is Apiwa El Jamus, his parents are El Jamus. I have a home in Kiserian. That is where my all other things are. I work with a government institution, and working doesn't mean that you work at home. For them to say I'm not on the ground, it's just a mere allegation. And again, to say I don't represent the interest of the community. I just want to give them some kind of schooling. They need to understand that the post of a chief officer is not to represent one community. I'm representing whole communities of Baringo County. So that's what, again, who is this petition? Because I didn't see the
give
name.
you the details, because you know that document is with our legal team, so we cannot, and the petitioner has some protection, so we cannot disclose for now who is the petitioner. Remember when I was asking you if you had participated in community programs and projects, your answer was no.
No.
Do you remember? So that
Collaborate.
basically is Thank you, honorable members. I think we can bring it to
Maybe Chairman, because I think Dominique is very, I think the question is very tough on her, that she now has to explain herself why she's, you even mentioned the word pure El Jamus. So now, we don't want you to get angry to the community. Everybody has a right to say anything. What you only need is, you don't tell them, I will school you. You know, you are like, now you're becoming a leader, like the MC. So if you can tell them, I want to school these people, it will be very harsh. So maybe you tone down. I know you are a very young person. You will learn. So you are still young. Just be calm, and with time yeah, people will ask very bad questions, but you, as a leader, you just absorb.
Thank you, Chair. I was just, when Honorable Larry was saying that, I recall that he's saying, this is a walkover for me. It's a very dangerous statement. Very dangerous statement. For somebody who is assuming position of leadership and a senior government official. It's a very dangerous statement. I would wish that we bring it to an end, and in so doing, we would want to give you an opportunity to make your closing remarks to this committee. Then the committee will be retreating to do their report. All of us, you saw we were marching. We have a marching scheme. We will retreat and do our report based on everything that you responded to. And we all pray that God helps you. In so doing, we also have a responsibility on behalf of the people of Baringo to deliver to them. That is our mandate, and it is constitutional. We have to just do it required by the Constitution. And then also please come to chair. Please, you have closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. I would like first of all to thank each and every member of this committee for having me. Thank you for your indulgence. I also want to assure you that I'm sorry for some harsh terms, but I have nothing personal against anybody. I'm going to work as a leader if approved by this honorable committee. I'm going to make sure that my choice of words are improved if are approved. And again, I'll pray how I pray that you approve my nomination. I'll appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are now free to leave. Make sure that as you leave, you have all your original documents. And please, we raised an issue and we need to certify copies. Please make sure that you hand over your certified cases that you liars and we have to before close. Thank you.
Yeah, anyway,